Zeal Education Society, redefining excellence.
Hello everyone, I am Mr. G.S. Anavkar from Department of Civil Engineering of Zeal College of Engineering and Research. In the earlier video, we have learned the foundation, which is a very important component of building, its definition, its role, its significance. In this video, we are going to learn the different types of foundation. The foundations are broadly classified under shallow foundation and deep foundation. The shallow foundation is the type of foundation when, in general, the depth to breadth ratio, that is depth to breadth ratio, is less than 1. Means, for example, take an example of any foundation which is having a depth equal to 1 meter, which is very commonly we are providing, and its breadth is 0.5 or 2 meter. So this D by B ratio must be less than 1, then it is a shallow foundation. When it is more than 1, it is termed as deep foundation. So majority of foundation when provided for wall footing, these are termed under the shallow foundation. When the availability of hard murum is at considerable lower elevation, lower depth, then we can suggest the shallow foundation. But for the loose soil or for the strata having a sand, then we must recommend the deep foundation. It is a very common rule that to provide the foundation or to excavate for foundation up to the hard rock. But for the strata which is having soil or which is having a loose soil or sand, clay, there could not be the possibility of hard rock available at lower elevation or lower depth. So excavating for higher depth may be economically not possible, and that is why the deep foundations with pile foundation, deep foundation with caissons are mostly recommended under such circumstances. Now coming to the shallow foundation, the foundation provided immediately below the lowest part of the structure. So it is very close to the ground level. But though it is close to the ground level, it is susceptible, it is having a capacity to transfer the load to the supporting soil or adjoining soil strata. Shallow foundation has a very good capacity provided the hard rock or hard strata, hard murum is immediately below the ground level. The suitable soil bearing capacity must be there. Soil bearing capacity is nothing but the maximum possible or beyond which or up to which it can sustain against loading, that is a soil bearing capacity. So this particular soil, so when you are going to recommend a shallow foundation, you must think about the soil bearing capacity for the design load. And undisturbed soil or engineered field means mostly it is recommended when there is no any man-made or what can you say, it is a disturbed soil strata. Disturbed soil strata means we recommend undisturbed soil strata for the shallow foundation, so that there will be the proper homogeneity between the entire soil mass around the foundation. Now these are the different subtypes of shallow foundation: strip footing or wall footing or continuous footing, spread or isolated footing, combined footing, strap or cantilever footing, mat or raft foundation, and inverted arc footing. These are the different types of shallow foundation. Now coming to the strip footing. This is a very common type of footing which is also known as wall footing. Mostly in case of load bearing structure, these type of foundations are mostly provided. Now coming to the strip footing. This is mostly provided for the wall and especially for the load bearing structures. This is provided so to where there is a lightweight structures are there. though it is mostly being constructed through the stone masonry, but superstructure part could be in brick masonry. As stones are good susceptible against load bearing capacity, are very good for to sustain against higher loads, mostly it has been recommended that for such kind of wall footings, stones must be used. These are used for light structures, but these are provided in step 1. So if you can observe here the wall thickness and the bottommost part. So by providing such kind of steps, you may observe that the broadness or bottom is being broadened. So it is termed as a strip footing. Then sprayed or isolated footing. Now these could be for the wall as well as column footing also. A very commonly provided isolated footing for individual column. So below individual column, in this particular diagram, you can observe below individual column there will be its footing. So that is why it is termed as an isolated footing. It could be depending upon the column shape, it could be circular or square or rectangular, but having a uniform thickness. To the bottom there will be the PCC bed. This is for the providing the uniform surface for the distribution of load. Next one is the combined footing. In case of combined footing, there are certain circumstances when there is a necessity to provide these kind of special footings. Now combined footing, as you can observe in this diagram, there will be I will go back. So in this particular type of footing, isolated footing, the individual column has its own footing. But in this particular case, you may observe that the two separate columns may have been rest on the common platform or common footing. This is the case when the distance between or center to center distance between two columns is comparatively small. Means closely spaced columns refers to provide this kind of combined footing, because it is not economically possible to excavate such pits very close to each other. As well as economically, this could be also feasible to provide the combined footing for such kind of closely spaced columns. The another circumstance is when the column will be having a different dimensions. Means in this particular case, you may observe that this is the case when the column dimension is somewhat different. This is the column dimension is larger. Now accordingly, you may observe the footing will be a trapezoidal shape, trapezoidal in shape. The next one is strap or cantilever footing. This is the typical case. In which circumstances these cantilever footings are provided? So you may observe here is the wall or compound wall of adjoining structure, and according to your diagram or design, your column is very close to this. Now it is not possible to excavate the foundation pit in the adjoining property. In such circumstances, you may shift the loading or CG of this column to this footing, and that is why we are recommending this kind of cantilever footing when when there is a adjoining footing or there is no any space to provide the excavation pit in the adjoining property. A balance footing, this is also called as a balance footing, which consists of two separate footing, and these are being connected by such strap beam. This is a strap beam where these two footings are being connected through this beam. The major role of this beam is to transfer or to make these two footings homogeneous, to transfer the load to this column B also. The next one is a mat or raft footing. So this is a typical case when the raft is being provided. So as it names, the foundation is being provided for the entire built up area. So there will be it is as like a raft or a mat like structure. So when the number of columns are being provided and when the substructure or soil beneath the structure is comparatively having a low load bearing capacity, in such structure cases we prefer or we recommend the mat or raft footing, because this mat like structure is useful in reducing the differential settlement. So in case of non-homogeneous soil or where there is a loose soil will be there, the even settlement possibility is there, you may recommend a raft footing, because this entire mat could settle down and if any settlement may take place. And that is why there is no any harm to entire structure, as it will be the even settlement. So this is a typical case of raft or mat footing. And the last one, in case of shallow foundation, that is inverted arc footing. Now it is constructed on soft soil. So mostly recommended for the soft soil like clay, sand strata, and this type of foundation is suitable for bridges, reservoirs, overhead tanks, etc. So where these different columns are being connected by such kind of arches. So this is the peculiarity of shallow foundation. So I will again recall this shallow foundation. So basically the depth is comparatively less as compared to bed. So up to 1 meter or 1.2 meter is the typical one for shallow foundation. Human excavation or man-powered excavation is feasible for shallow foundation. The shallow foundation is being recommended for single storied or G+1 storied, not multi-storied in short. Where the sand strata is absent, black cotton soil is absent, you may recommend this kind of foundation, that is shallow foundation. Another advantage of shallow footing is cost. It is a very cost effective as the excavation depth is comparatively less. So all these is regarding shallow foundation. In next video, we are going to learn about the deep foundation. Thank you.
Zeal Education Society, redefining excellence.